Hello, hello, and good Friday, good Saturday morning to wherever you are. And welcome to the DTV News Show. I'm glad you're here. And I'm your host, and my name is Dennis T. Varnum. And welcome. The DTV News Show was launched in 2025 with a pretty simple mission to cover local and national political news clearly, thoughtfully, and respectfully. And that's in a time when, we information moves very fast and opinions are everywhere. Our goal here at the DTV News Show is to contribute to the public discourse by focusing on facts, context, and honest discussion. And when I say facts, I mean real facts, not alternative facts that some of the right tends to love to talk about. We'll cover political developments, community issues, local and national community, because some community issues are local, but they become national conversations. And that's where we'll begin as well here on the DTV News Show. We'll have the conversation. If the local people are listening, which I hope they are, listening on Twitch, YouTube, Blue Sky is my communication piece as well, and news stories that matter, both close to home and across the country. So, whether you're watching live, as we are now, we're live now. Hello to all my YouTube fans and all my Twitch fans as well. I do post this on fanbase.com. Fanbase.com is a news, well, it's not a news, but it's a social media platform. And it's owned by, many of you may know the soul singer, R&B champion, Isaac Hayes. He wrote many songs, scores for movies, etc. But he has a son, Isaac Hayes Jr., I believe is his name, and but he also has a social media site similar to Facebook. It's called Fanbase, and I am a member of Fanbase, and I think it does a lot of stuff that Twitter used to do, and pretty soon I think it's doing some of the TikTok stuff too. That since TikTok has been cannibalized by the Zionist Larry Ellison and his family, so I do post on several sites, but I do like doing the live feed so I can get the interaction from everyone as well. So, with that in mind, let's take a look at some of the things that we're gonna dive into. Um, I'll share a reaction to a couple of things that happened today, on Friday, Thursday, and Friday. But as you see, we have an active chat. So whenever you do chat, me and my team, we'll take a look at the chats before we post them up there. But typically, we're going to post them up there. And if it's a question, we're going to answer it. So keep that in mind. We are very interactive here. So let's take a look at some of the news for today. And one in particular I want to go over is it, it just stunned me when I saw this. The Iranian foreign minister was in an interview with I think it was NBC newscaster, and he was asking the foreign minister a question about boots on the ground. And what I want you to think about when you're looking at this, listen to the way he's responding, or he doesn't respond when he asks the foreign minister a question about boots on the ground. And just take a look here.
President Trump has not ruled out boots on the ground in Iran Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade, the ground troops?
Okay, did you notice that he just stopped in sheer stunning silence? He basically said, "Oh, you're waiting for them? You're not afraid? You don't want to run away?" And the foreign minister just grins at him and says, "No, we're waiting for you guys." So just listening to this kooky announcer.
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
He's totally stunned. He's just sitting there like, "Oh, you're not afraid of America?" So what?
So you're saying that Iran is ready and willing to take on the U.S. military if there were to be ground troops?
Well, we were ready for this war even more than the previous war. So you can see, the quality of our missiles, how much they are upgraded after the last war, because we learned lots of lessons. And we are prepared for any other eventuality, even, a ground invasion. So our soldiers are prepared for any scenario. When I said that we are waiting for them, it didn't mean that we are waiting for continuation of the war. No, but we have prepared ourselves to confront with any scenario, with any eventuality, any possibility, and we know that we can handle that.
President Trump has not.
So here, as you could see, this reporter, NBC News, and NBC News has bent the knee as well to Trump and the administration. So there, in my book, I would not get my news from these people, simply because they have a slant that's ruled by the money that they get. So for this, I would just not even think about it. But you can see in his framing, he says he basically, if I want to rehash what he's saying, or do the, well, what he really means is, oh, you're not afraid that we're going to come in there with ground troops? And the foreign minister was like, "No, motherfucker, I'm not afraid at all." so so it's just really ridiculous, the framing that's going on the right for some of this stuff. But that's just one thing. Let's listen to a little Marco Rubio, our Secretary of State, and he has. This is scary. This is really scary. Now, now I'm a student of history, and so those who understand history, pre-colonialism history, history from 1640s all the way to the 1870s, you know about hegemonic societies. And so listen to what little Marco Rubio has to say. Now, his audience is a international audience. This was at one of the, I think a month ago, there was a international conference. So listen to what this person is saying.
For 5 centuries before the end of the Second World War, the West had been expanding. Its missionaries, its pilgrims, its soldiers, its explorers pouring out from its shores to cross oceans.
Okay. That is pertinent, that sentence. It's missionaries, it's pilgrims. Okay. Reaching out to other shores to cross oceans. Well, there were people already there. So you can kind of, I want you to kind of get where he's trying to frame this. But in reality, what he's really saying is that, before World War II, the U.S. was just conquering everybody, Hawaii, Mexico, you name it. And listen to what he says now.
Settle new continents, build vast empires extending out across the globe. But in 1945, for the first time since the age of Columbus.
Okay, look at that lady right there. She's like, she's like, what are you talking about? And I think it's in English. And he's in Europe, I believe. I'm not really sure where he is, but
it was contracting. The great Western empires had entered into terminal decline, accelerated by godless communist revolutions and by anti-colonial uprisings that would transform the world and drape the red hammer and sickle across vast swaths of the map in the years to come. Against that backdrop, then as now, many came to believe that the West's age of dominance had come to an end. We in America have no interest in being polite and orderly caretakers of the West's managed decline. Armies fight for a way of life. And that is what we are defending, a great civilization that has every reason to be proud.
So there's a difference between fighting for a way of life and defending something. The two are not the same. The Pilgrims defended something, and they were actually fighting for their way of life before they were colonized. So, same thing in Europe, in Ireland, and various other countries. So, I think Mr. Rubio is, not a very good steward of world history.
Out of its history. And this is what President Trump and the United States want to do again now, together with you, to revitalize an old friendship and renew the greatest civilization in human history. For 5 centuries,
So that's what Mr. Rubio had to say about history and the hegemonic societies that went around overthrowing other countries for centuries. The U.S., England, Portugal, Spain, not so much China, but they did their share as well with Vietnam and some other countries. So it's just amazing. And this man is supposedly a statesman, Secretary of State, not by a long shot. Now, many of you know that Kristi Noem was reassigned today or yesterday, I think, from her duties as the Department of Homeland Security Secretary. And Markwayne Mullin, a senator, is taking her place. She is moving on to something else that no one knows about, but we'll cover it as we learn about it as well. So let's take a listen.
Secretary of Homeland Security. In tried and true Trumpian fashion, Donald Trump announced her firing on Truth Social, adding that she's been appointed special envoy to the Shield of the Americas, a position no one had heard of until.
I have no idea what the hell that is.
Lewandowski is also out at DHS. As news of her firing was breaking, Kristi Noem was speaking. There she is. She was speaking to law enforcement, and it wasn't clear at all if she knew she'd been fired, as while she was talking, she talked about meetings she was going to have in the coming days as DHS Secretary.
For the President of the United States.
I pray for your grace.
So it appears she did not even know that she was going to be fired, which would be typical of this administration and of Trump. I think one of the reasons, excuse me, one of the reasons for her being removed, not to mention the extensive bad press about the airplane and the jets that her Homeland Security, excuse me, wanted to purchase or had purchased or renting and were flying around here and there, her and other compromised employees. And also the no bid contracts. Now, here's the thing that gets me. And I've been on local city boards where we've had to determine who's going to get the X number of millions of dollars of bids. Now, we rarely would entertain anyone submitting a contract to the local city who just started their business 11 days ago. Okay? Now, there's just something that ain't going to work there. That's fishy. And so the no bid contract went to someone, not just someone, but her chief of staff's husband, company who he had just set up a few weeks prior. Now, that's corruption with a K. And so I think that right there was, as corrupt as Trump is, he could see that it was not going to be good for him. And so he moved to put her in another position. So good riddance, I think. But she's still in the administration cooking up stuff. This next clip I wanted to share is about, our Constitution allows for or calls for the separation between church and state. Here you have, if you look in this room, you got a bunch of white folks sitting there holding on to this sex abuser, criminal, fraud, as if he is some type of deity. And they're praying over him. Listen to this.
And your protection over him. I pray for your grace and protection over our troops and all of our men and women serving in our armed forces. And Father, we just pray you'll continue to give our president the strength that he needs to lead our great nation as we come back to one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We pray your heavenly blessing upon him in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh my God. Two things. One, did you see the White House, the Oval Office? That place looks like looks like where he met Melania at the Kit Kat Club or somewhere. And I think it's for all the people in the United States, all the citizens that live here, we are not a Christian fundamentalist country. We're not a Muslim country. We're not a Jewish company or country. So I think that for them, and unfortunately, you've got the Secretary of Defense, you've got Trump, who by all means is not a Christian. He's even said that he's not going to get to heaven. So I doubt he'll get there. And I think that's the wrong way to conduct oneself in the Oval Office. I've got a couple of other items here that we'll go over. The midterms just happened. Not the midterms, but some voting for primaries in Texas, North Carolina, and one other state. I can't remember right now, but Jasmine Crockett on the Democratic side running against James Tallarico, both who had been in the Texas State House. Jasmine, of course, is a U.S. Congresswoman now. Tallarico defeated her in the election, and we'll dig into that at another show. And the Republican candidates are going to be in a runoff, and Trump has already weighed in that he's going to tell whoever he doesn't like to get out of the race. This man's a big blowhard. But one of the things that came up that I saw on my blue sky was Tina Peters. Tina Peters was arrested and convicted to 9+ years for voter fraud or interfering with trying to do voter fraud in Arizona, I believe. Colorado. So in Colorado, the governor, a Democrat, seems to want to bend the knee to Trump. Seems to want to give her clemency because listen to this, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Colorado's governor is ready to hand Tina Peters a get-out-of-jail-free card if she's willing to do the one thing she hasn't done yet: show remorse for her crime of leading a breach of Colorado's voting systems. Peters and President Trump, of course, are not one bit sorry. They say Peters is a political prisoner, that her 9-year sentence is unfair, and that Colorado is going to be punished until she's free. Democratic Governor Jared Polis made it pretty clear to me late this afternoon the only thing standing between Tina Peters and her freedom is her showing remorse. Has your view of whether Tina Peters deserved clemency changed over time, or are people just interpreting your words differently?
This one has always stood out to me, Kyle, as a very long sentence. Just to put things in perspective, we have 18,000 or so prisoners. We cannot find any other nonviolent first-time offenders over 70 in our entire.
So you can already hear this governor is building a case to offer her clemency, saying that, oh, she's old. We don't have a lot of cases where we have old people with sickness that have gotten this type of sentence. Now, this is a Democrat, mind you, so keep listening.
Our system. So I haven't seen a single one. So on its face, this would be a good applicant. Now, you have to put on top of that, of course, the impact of the crime, the notoriety of the crime, what she actually did.
Tina Peters shows no remorse, takes no accountability or responsibility. Does that matter?
Yes, that is a very important part. So what she would have to show, in any type of successful clemency application would be appropriate contrition, apology. That's the kind of thing that I would be looking for. I've looked for it in other cases. It's not the only thing, Kyle. There's also sentencing disparities. That's one of the issues here. Age and health are a factor. It was cited in a few of the ones you looked at. But absolutely, how an inmate plans on making good with any time reduction that they receive is part of what I look at.
There are times that it seems to me like you want to give her clemency more than she wants it, right?
So the reporter, Kyle Clark, is really trying to get to this governor because he senses the governor wants to bend the knee to Trump and let her out, which you can hear that in the governor's response.
Because if she's in, she's a martyr. And it seems to me like you've been working really hard to come up with a justification to give her clemency when she won't do so much as to say, yeah, I broke the law and I'm sorry.
I'm not looking at, is she a martyr? Is she not? I'm not looking at what, you or what the president or what the Democrats say. I really just try to look at, does this, meet my standards in terms of, is there a disparate sentence? I believe there is here. Is there a contrition and apology? We need to see that.
Colorado's governor is ready to hand Tina.
So you can hear him basically saying, so what happened? Trump said, Colorado, we're not going to give you any money. We're not going to do anything for you if you don't let Tina Peters out of jail. So this Democrat governor is getting ready to bend the knee. I guarantee you. You can watch this woman be given clemency by this governor, and as soon as he does, two things will happen. Mark my words. One, he should lose the election, his next election, and two, Tina Peters might even run against him. Wouldn't that be something interesting? But watch, one of those things will happen. Let's check in on the chat and see how things are going. Let's see here. If you, like I said, in the chat, put where you're listening from, and also any questions you might have of a DTV News show. By all means, let me know. And or if you want to share something with the audience, we'll definitely take it on. Okay, so this I got just one or two more items for today's show. and I found this very, very weird. This is as far as the Republican primary race for the U.S. Senate in Texas. So John Cornyn and the Secretary of State, I believe, in Texas are running in a runoff. But as you can see here, where Trump says once he makes a decision who he's going to get behind, he's going to endorse someone, and he wants the other person to immediately drop out of the race. This is just ridiculous. And the Republicans have signed on to this crazy. So that'll be interesting to see. I think today there's already some quid pro quo going on with the Brad Paxton, the Secretary of State, or the Attorney General, I'm sorry, in Texas. He's already saying, hey, you give me this and I'll drop out. So Texas is just a place that needs to drop off in the ocean. And one last thing I wanted, which, we did talk about, wanted to talk a little bit about Jasmine Crockett and Tellerico, but we'll get to that and in the next show. But I did want to end with something fun, and I'm not a big basketball fan, but I do like to watch sports and the folks that are underdogs or considered underdog. Take a look at this female basketball player. Her name's Soraya Muhammad, and she is, she could be working in the WNBA, dropping buckets. Take a look at this.
El Sharawi with the rebound gets it out to Soraya Muhammad.
She's the one with the hijab on.
Look at her find her way all the way to the hoop. That is
momentum back with Mozambique now. Oh, nice play! Put it on the highlight reel. Oh, wow! The air ball. Dehedi, open floor. They might have to foul her. Oh, she spins. She puts it up. She scores, and she's going to the line.
Soraya with 7 to shoot. Oh my goodness. Soraya Muhammad.
Crunch time in Bello trying to stick with Soraya. Spins. Oh, what a handoff. What a play.
And then Effa also making it so difficult for Egypt to score. But Soraya Muhammad, how do you slow her down?
Muhammad side step to the left against Uganda. Ooh, the Hesdy. All the duration of the shot clock. Soraya Muhammad.
Wow, she's something, huh? I mean, she could really make any of the college teams, or actually, I'd say even the WNBA teams. And that just goes to show you, even far and wide, there are great players. I think she's Egyptian or plays for the Egyptian team. And I have to go back and see if she was in the Olympics last year or the last Summer Olympics. But definitely a great athlete with some swag as well. So that's it for today's show. We'll be back Sunday, where we'll have more breaking news. And by all means, leave a chat, leave a comment, and subscribe also. My website, the DTVnewsshow.com. By all means, please check that out. And with that, thank you very much. And thank you for turning on DTV.